The DJ Roundtable Show is live. It's the DJ Roundtable Show. Tell another DJ about the show. Please subscribe.
It is 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday night. We're a little light. Do you know where DJ's at? I know where I'm at. I'm here with you. It is Tuesday night. It is the DJ Roundtable. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself here. And you're enjoying yourself on this lovely, lovely, lovely Tuesday night. We are missing a couple of DJs. So I'm trying to see as we're talking and everything else. Asking questions. We got a bunch of DJs from all around the country here, and we want to thank you for coming in and sharing your Tuesday night with us as always. And we always have fun here on Tuesday nights at the DJ Roundtable, and hopefully you are having fun where you're at. And we have a returning DJ member that has to do a lot and has spent some time here, all the way from beautiful Texas, and sporting the mustache of the night.
Yeah.
Man, I will tell you that stash is, it's legit.
Flavor saver.
That's gonna be right here, right? That's right there.
Oh, see, now you gotta do Tombstone now. He put on,
soul patch.
He has a couple Stetsons. He put his Stetson on, and I said he cowboyed up. I mean, he totally cowboyed up. So it's one of the things that, oh, there it goes. Yep. There's Stetson. He cowboyed up on that one. That was just, it just looks great. Good to have you back here, sir. And as always, you want to tell who you are, where you are, what you do. And again, I know you've been here plenty of times, but it's been a little bit. And for those people just joining on and just came to the channel, so they can look back at older episodes, but so they get to know you a little bit. Give you a couple seconds here just to give them a elevator speech of what you do and where you're at.
Yeah, of course. Glad to be back. Haven't really been back in good amount of months. Don't even know how long. But my name is Brylan, and I am in the DFW area here in Texas, in Fort Worth. That's where I'm at, where my DJ company is, and my company's name is Funky Town Entertainment, that I'm the owner and head DJ of. So yeah, just been on a little hiatus and stuff from the show, but glad to be kind of back for a few more weeks. And yeah, just super excited to get back in here and talking and hanging out with you guys.
Man, I gotta get my seat all adjusted. It's been a while. We've been off for a few weeks, enjoying the holiday season. And, now you can get the seat all in order, and it's like, yeah, you gotta get back. And it's like getting in a car you haven't driven in a while, and you're adjusting the mirror. And, well, we're adjusting everything here with you. And as always, we're glad you're here. We've got a few things that have happened. I got a little trinket here on my microphone. As, I like to put little trinkets on here, my name. I got from a client. And I got this from my beautiful wife, a little controller. So nice little trinket there to hang from my microphone. I got a couple other things I'll be hanging over the next few weeks that I got over Christmas, and just got to break it out and figure out ways to put it on there, but you'll see some more things hanging here. And hopefully you enjoy hanging out here. Braylon is a great guy. He's been here for a long time, but he has, with his work and stuff like that, unfortunately can't spend every week here with us. So it's always great when he can. And then I just saw Dwayne. He is having a little bit of car problems, and he was reporting from his car. So hopefully he'll be back in a little bit. And I'm waiting to see about a few other people. Hopefully they will be here as well. And as always, Sean is out. He's stuck in traffic. It's like, again, normal stuff. People working, people out and about and doing things. Speaking out and about and doing things, again, we got some other great DJs here as well. DJ Cool Thing, which has his show he launched a couple weeks ago. If you haven't done so already, Time to Spin is the channel. So go take a look at that. Check it out. He had the pleasure of having me on there. and it was a pleasure being there with him and talking about stuff. A little different than here. Of course, you got DJ Brentley from Wisconsin, got Jeff from North Carolina, cool thing, Hunter from South Carolina, Chris from, well, not mid-state New York, not lower state, not in Manhattan. You know, he has a little bit of New York accent, but he's not upstate. He's not
Yeah.
like, and he's not Buffalo. He's kind of like the weird area of New York that's still New York, but he's far enough. It's kind of like for me, if you know Chicago, he's kind of like Rockford to Chicago. They're kind of close, but not close enough. They're 90 miles. So they kind of like Chicago light, you know? So he's like New York light. But I have spent many a time with him and talked to him. Chris is awesome. And here's some other cool
We always
things.
have a good time.
Chris is an IT guy. He deals with computers all the time. So if you ever have computer questions in the chat, go ahead and ask a computer question. He more than glad to kind of point you in the right direction. He knows a bunch of stuff for computers. So make sure that if you're there, if you have a question on a computer, ask a question. Hey, what kind of computer should I get for running Serato or virtual DJ? He can answer you some basic questions like that. You know, for his DJ software, is always version software is software. And then of course, we got Dwayne back. Thank goodness for that. Trying to see if Matt's going to come in here. Matt's been on hiatus. And I wanted to start off tonight. I know some of the DJs out there who watch out in the West Coast and in the California area. Hopefully you are safe and you're not affected by what's going on out there. Our hopes and prayers go out to everyone who is affected. Brentley knows a few people who are, and our hopes and prayers go out to them. And as always, we hope that you're safe as well. And if you want to do something nice, there are ways to donate. American Red Cross is one of them that's taking donations to help those fire victims. So please, if you can, donate a few bucks. If you can't, no big deal. Life is such. And I just want to thank as well you for turning in. Let's go on the show. If you guys don't know, or you guys do know, the world has lost its mind over I guess, the new thing, the QSC line arrays. I've just seen the interwebs blown up about it, and it's like they never had it before. And I'm all for new products, and QSC, again, they have good speakers. I know people who love QSC. They love the K12s. The K12 is the second generation. I've heard some mixed reviews on it. Some guys like the older sound better. The newer ones have better DSP, a little better SPL, a little better processing. So if you're a QSC guy and you have the K12s and you have the K12s the second gen, tell me what you think out there. But I wanted to talk about the line arrays. And again, the reason why some of us are like, oh, God, we've seen this relentlessly for the past, I don't know, 2 days. And it's pretty crazy when you see everyone talking about it. And I'm a big fan of line arrays. I'm a very big fan. I'm glad QSC has it. I know EV is supposed to have something too coming up at NAMM. NAMM's in another week or so or two. And, I have RCF line arrays. I have LD. I have DB. I've been using line arrays for a long time. K array line arrays I have. And again, to me, it's kind of like QSC's finally to the party. JBL has them. You go through a list of everyone has it. Harbinger. And you guys follow yeah, I have black and white already. Not for the QSCs, no. I don't know if you guys have followed the out in the East Coast in Boston, Harvest of Sound. They do a shootout between all the speaker manufacturers, and the Harbinger line arrays, which Mr. Dixon has, was rated by other DJs and people there as a really good sounding speaker. It had really great reviews. It's not a high SPL speaker. It's 118, 119, kind of like the Maui 5s, 120. And it's actually rated as a very good speaker that people like the sound quality, because what they do is they put up basically a curtain, kind of like I have here, but it's designed to let sound through. It's a sonically neutral curtain, and they put speakers behind, and they play music through and you pick which speaker you feel it's best. And people, it's by vote of all the people there, the DJs are listening. And actually, the votes that came in said the Harbinger was really, really good. Now, I have not heard the Harbingers, the Rays. I've seen Harbingers. Harbinger is a entry level price item, but the QSCs, I saw a price of 19.99 for a speaker, and you're talking $4,000 for two speakers, which is a good amount of money. Lots of technology in it. The DSP in it's pretty cool. There's a bunch of pictures on the web, as well as a few retailers that have information about. Now, I don't know at this time, it's time of recording this, if people actually have it in stock. Um, I know that a lot of people are clamoring for it, and a lot of people are like, again, losing their minds. So I like to start off with Brentley, because he's the one giving the most looks with his face and stuff like that. Um, and I don't want to take, I don't want to do Jeff, because Jeff's always like, you always pick me first. uh, Brentley, what do you think of the QSC line arrays? Is it something that you like? Do you like QSC? Is it something you're like, hey, cool, but not for me?
Okay, with the whole line array, column array, this whole craze that everybody's on, woo, blank, throw the horn in there, woo. I'm sorry, at a certain point, everybody's got a speaker. Is one gonna sound that much, based on price point, size, etc., going to sound that much better than a different one? Probably not. And at this point, it's just what you prefer. And I, just like with my obnoxious post today about requiring internet, it doesn't matter what you use necessarily. In the end of every gig, at the end of every wedding, the only thing that, one we should really be concerned with is our clients and couples. And did we do right by them? If we have a column array, or if we're still using a traditional, powered or passive speaker with a power amp. Yeah, you might be breaking your back with the gear, but at the end of the day, does it really truly matter what gear we're using, so much as how we're using it effectively to make sure the needs and wants of our clients are taken care of? I'm honestly between, and here, you brought it up, Harvest of Sound, their shootouts, everybody talking about the next EV series coming out, QSC now. It's like, enough is enough already. How many different column arrays do we actually need on the market, unless something is that significantly better about a new model? Only thing EV's doing, RCF, even LD, let's just make them bigger. It kind of defeats the point. Why do you want an 18-inch or a 15-inch subwoofer with your column array? At that point, you're better off just humping your old gear back in, because that's what it's going towards. And you, buddy, you put this really well a while back. I can't remember which episode it was, but using the right equipment for the gig on hand. Just because QSC has released this new great column array, or EV's releasing their 15-inch, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can say it. Again, there's no proof. There's rumor. And that's what's out there.
I need to put my foot in my mouth then. I might get in trouble.
No, you're not getting in trouble. The thing is that it's the rumor that they're supposed to have a 15. I saw an 18. Again, you see stuff on the interwebs. You see certain people on there talking about it. They're doing whatever they want to do.
I'm just going to put my foot in my mouth right here, right now, because I was basically at EV in November. I'm putting my foot in my mouth. But why are backtracking it? Why are you going to bring all the big gear, like make it bigger, if you still have everything else you're using? So using the right gear for each individual gig. Sometimes that's using, the Maui 5 for a 50-head wedding. Sometimes it's having to bust out 4 18-inch subwoofers and 4 mains to cover 500 people at a wedding. So is having the QSC a great idea if you need a column? Probably. But should you forego the column array, forego your other speakers just for a column? Probably not.
Well, the one thing is like I've switched over to line arrays for my sound system, so I have multiple units. And I did a video going through as a line array dead, kind of answer to what Brian said. And I go through the stuff I looked, when I got my first array, the K array, I've had it now for 13 years. I got in 2012, and line arrays work differently than a two-way speaker and a subwoofer. Because basically, you take a two-way speaker, you have a horn, very horny, very far throwing, it's piercing. You have a center speaker, which you turn to a mid bass, so a 10 or 12, that's your mid bass, and then you have a subwoofer, a 15, an 18, 21, whatever it is your low end bass. So it's a different way of working versus a line array or column array. You have speakers in a row, you're creating a bubble, and you're filling an area to fill its sound. And then the subwoofer on it, again, some people want to be bigger. It's like you're going to buy a car, or you're buying a SUV, or you're buying a truck. I have an F350. I don't need an F350. I like an F350. I have a 6.7 Power Stroke diesel in my F350. Do I need a 6.7? No, I like it. It's kind of the same thing. Do you need a 15-inch or an 18-inch subwoofer? Some people like that. You have Matt who likes, dual 21s and dual 18s. Do you need a dual 18 at most events? No. And it is true, having the right size equipment for the right event. I probably say a third of my weddings, I do the Maui 5s because it's what works. It's not overpowering. It's a nice little 8-inch woofer, easy to deal with. But when I have bigger and bigger events, I have a little bit bigger gear. And my big stuff right now, my biggest speaker is going to be those DBs. Dual 12-inch subwoofer, they have tons of bass, tons of sound. Those things are really powerful. And you have that, and I have the J8s. It's one of the things that, again, having the right tool. It's having a toolbox. What's in your toolbox is a bunch of different speakers. What speaker you need, you can choose. Put the right equipment for the right event. Don't give something that's too big. And some people, and I've said this plenty of times before here, if the only tool in the toolbox you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. With that said, Braylon, I want to go to you because you have a set of J8s, and I know you got some two-way tops, and you have a mix of stuff, equipment, and you have a couple different ways you select things for events. What do you think about the QSCs, and what do you think about the talk of, hey, do we need more line arrays? Do we need less? Should be, hey, more the merrier? Like, I am more the merrier because why not have more tool options? But, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so besides the comment of different tools for different scenarios and cases, I mean, I 100% agree with that. When it comes to QSC, personally for me, I'm kind of glad they came into the game because in my opinion, they're one of the top dogs in the industry for sure. So I think it's what they should do is to have something to compete in that space. You got a lot of QSC fanboys, you got a lot of QSC lovers and stuff like that. So like to give them that option to have that, I think there's no problem with it at all. So I like QSC personally; they're good. I have my tops are EVs, but I always kind of gravitate either EV or QSC. So I'm glad they're in the game. Honestly, I would love to see because what's difficult is like RCF doesn't really sell a whole lot of stuff in like Guitar Center and places like that. Like at least on the column array side, they do sell, I guess, like their 915s or like the art series in Guitar Center, but QSC is always in Guitar Center, so I'm curious if they're going to have these new column arrays to be able to hear in person, which I think would do them well because a lot of people will try to snatch them up. So, yeah, I'm glad they're here. I'd be interested to hear them and see them. Am I gonna like switch to them and whatever? I don't know. I'm pretty content with what I have in the J8s. So, but yeah, I'm glad they're in the game for sure.
One of the things that I've gotten a lot of, I'm sure other people have too, is emails about market, selling the QSC speakers, and about they're available, that you can order it now, the price, and it's from multiple places. And I'm sure that the big retailers out there that sell stuff, that carry QSC, they'll probably have that array speaker. Now, and that nothing against Guitar Center. Um, Guitar Center is like Best Buy. You kind of have to walk in there and knowing some stuff beforehand, because you have whoever the guy is at or girl is at the Guitar Center. Sometimes sound is not their thing. They're a lot of times musicians. They look at certain things and they go do certain things, and they may understand how sound is. They don't understand. A lot of them don't understand DJs. There's very few DJs, and I've gone to Guitar Center to get stuff and talk to people, and there's no one there who's a DJ I've run into in years. I'm sure there are at certain ones. If you have a DJ that works at Guitar Center and you know them, hey, great. But unfortunately, most of the times, usually a guitar guy or a guy who plays bass or a drummer, like they're musicians. Nothing wrong with that, but they look at things differently than we do, and it's a hard thing. And I think that QSC coming out with, just like JBL came out with theirs, they came out with the PRX one, then they came out with the JRX, no, not GRX, the PRX.
SRX.
They came out the Eon one, then the PRX. Are they going to come out with more? I don't know. But
SRX.
SRX, yeah, SRX, for their line arrays. And I had JBLs. I had, I still have a set of JBLs in the storage. I have a PRX. I had SRX. I had Eons. I had two generations Eons. So it's something that, looking at that, what QSC is doing, I feel they're a little late to the game. But again, they want to join the fray of everyone else. Maybe they waited to see what happened. Because to me, the look of the speaker, and I'm going to go to Jeff after this because I want to get his input. But the look of the speaker to me kind of looks like EV's thought, and LD with the center posts. Everything's connected internally. You basically just connect the speakers together, and RCF, like the J8, the actual head unit is on a sub pole, and you run a cable down, which is easy to hide. I saw one of the one of the sale information things like, oh, there's no external cables. I'm like, it's no big deal. And the cable goes bad, a cable's easy to replace. A sub pole is easy to replace. And actually, you can buy RCF parts. And one of the things, like I got the RCF J8s in white, it comes with a black cable. I ordered a white cable. So easy, simple thing to do. So I wanted to go to Jeff and ask Jeff's opinion on this. Have you seen the QSC stuff? And if so, what are you thinking?
I've not seen it in person. I've seen a lot of videos, on YouTube and other places the past week. So, it's a nice unit. They're a little pricey. It's $2,000 for a speaker, so $4,000 for a pair. It's a little pricey, but they are three-way. I was just looking at the specs here. They offer 132 dB SPL, which is very high for a column array. So 3,000 watt peak. They've done their homework. They've made a good speaker, but kind of like Brettley says, it's do you need that? Everybody's got, like you said, buddy, everybody's got their version of the column array. I bought my version. I've got the LD Maui 28s, and they do very well for what they're designed to do. I got them because of the way they look, not for how they perform. Even though they perform very well, they don't do as good as a pair of tops and a sub, but they just look better. They're great for a wedding. They're great for small crowds or small events. I really enjoy putting my uplighting like right in front or to the side of it and hit it with an uplight. It just looks fantastic. So I use mine for small events. I've got my next event coming up is in a couple weeks, and it's a Valentine's dance, and there's going to be probably 400 or 500 kids there. I will not be bringing my column arrays for that. I'm going to need more sound. So, two tops, two subs minimum, maybe three. Hit them with a lot of lighting. So it's one of those things where QSC is a little late to the game, but they did it right. It looks good. They've got the right specs. But it is like all QSC stuff. It's well made and it's pricey. And if you can afford it and you need it, then get it. Otherwise, whatever's making it work for you, keep going. My lighting is working fine for me, so I'm not buying the pixel tubes or any of the tube lighting that a lot of DJs are going to now. So am I late to the game with that? Yeah, maybe, but my lighting does the job that I needed to do. So it's personal choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, it's a good looking speaker. It really is, but it's pricey.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I know you're gonna be transitioning soon from your regular job over to doing DJing pretty much full time, and
Yeah.
it's interesting.
2 days,
Wait,
19 hours away. Not that I'm counting.
not at all, not at all. And one of the things with that is again having the right tool for the right job. And again, Jeff just proved right there. He's doing again a corporate event, a wedding. You don't need that aggressive a speaker. Now, here's the thing that I forgot about on this QS because again, this all this information comes out all at one time, and all these people are running out like running around like the aliens are attacking or something like that. They're like, "Oh my God, the world's ending!" The end is nigh. They're all over doing that for the QSC speaker, and it has a separate tweeter, which not all line arrays have a tweeter. So the question to me, because I have not heard them, I've seen them only online. I've not heard them in person. I'm sure sometime in the next few months, I'll see a DJ at a wedding or a venue have it, or I'll get a chance to hear it somehow or some way. But that tweeter on top, a lot of times tweeters throw pretty far and can have a piercing effect. And actually, Brian S. Red talked about that, the piercing effect and taking down the mids a little bit so it doesn't pierce and hit that hard, especially with certain people. Um, the question is, will that do that? Or will it be like the other arrays, more of a wider? Because I didn't see what I didn't see how wide the cast it throws, what the angles are on it. Because usually most line arrays are wider than a two-way speaker. A two-way speaker is 90 degrees. You get JBL, QSC, EV, whatever one you look at, it's usually a 90-degree angle versus a line array like the J8s are 120. The LD systems are about 120. The Maui 5s are 120. Bose is 180. The DBs are 110, so are a little bit less, but it's still wider than a standard two-way top. So there's a lot of questions I have about it, and time will tell. I want to next go to Hunter. I know you love your JBLs. I'm not asking you to sell your JBLs or buy new speakers, but as someone on the sidelines looking at it, what do you think?
Well, I haven't seen them or I haven't seen any videos, and I don't even know what they sound like or what they look like. I don't know anything about them. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with my JBL Eon 612s, my Ion Total PA Maxes I use for the garage. And, it's like what DJ Brentley said and what Jeff said that do you really need it? Of course not, because I live in a small town in South Carolina where most venues are medium to small size, and the 12-inch top would do just fine. And I actually have the two Wattage 2s I put underneath it to make it look all compact and nice and neat and tidy. So I haven't really seen those QSCs yet.
Well, you get a chance to take a look at them because the top speakers where the the array sits, they are the shape of it kind of reminds me of the LD Systems curve. If you know your LD Systems, the LD Systems curve, it's a pretty aggressive curve on the speaker, and it kind of reminds me of that. FBT has one that does kind of that too. K-Array does it, and I think that it's not the EVs, the Evolve 50s and 30s, are not as aggressive of a curve as the QSC is. So again, different way of doing it. And I see over there Kevin talking. He's chatting up the. He's over there like, look at me, I'm chatting. He's saying some stuff here. So 123. I think that's the SPL of the Harbingers. He says QSC didn't have one, so it makes sense to have one now. And then he asked a question. Pioneer next, because Pioneer has speakers. And Pioneer, the Pioneer name's going away, so we got to use the real name of Pioneer, which is now Alpha Theta.
Alpha Theta needs to make sure their decks work properly and have the equipment and repair supplies to fix the garbage they sent out last year. Sorry. I'm still salty about my Rev 5 and my Flex 10s. If you're going to make this new gear, make sure you can fix it when you send out defective crap. I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right.
Look at every one of the forums for the Rev 5, the Flex 10, the Opus Quad. The only thing I haven't seen any complaints on is their new all-in-one deck, which they actually put some quality into. But every one of the new decks they released last year or 2 years ago, from the Rev 7 all the way through to the Flex 10, have had inherent issues. Even the Groove 6, look at those on the forums. People are trashing those because they have problems. Pioneer needs to get their stuff together and make something worth putting on the market before they invest in making more speakers and crap. I'm
True,
sorry.
because I have the 400 that I've had for 2 or 3 years, and the browse knob keeps popping off.
Here, my friend said, I can't think of one person who I know who owns a Flex 10 who hasn't sent it back for some kind of thing or another. All of my decks have had an issue that I bought from Pioneer, from my Rev 7 all the way through to my Flex 10. I mean, so much so that I've honestly, as much as I hate Serato, really considered making the jump because of how Pioneer's decks have been that bad, and then I can hop to a Rain or a Denon. That's how over Pioneer's latest garbage I am. Sorry,
Welcome
call me
to
crazy,
music,
but
Brentley.
I bought four of their
you really
decks
think.
for years.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Because I had 2 Pioneer DJ controllers that broke. My SR2 and my DDJ 400. Those 2 were crap.
Here, the best quality deck that Pioneers had put out was the SZ and RZ series, and they haven't made anything with that kind of build quality since that era of deck. Once the DDJ 1000 came out, it was like, well, let's just put all the good quality equipment and stop making it and put these plastic toys out. I mean, here, the 400, it feels like the meme of the baby DJing. It feels like a baby toy. The Rev 5 feels more like a toy than the 1000 did.
I got a buddy who actually uses an RX.
Oh,
Or an RX1. Yeah, I mean that's beyond old. He's using virtual.
I have an XZ, and the XZ is heavy. And the one thing is, when you look at the Flex 10 and you look at the Rev 5, and they're less weight, and there's a huge difference. If you want, and I think it's a fine line they have to walk, because I'm sure there's tons of DJs. I don't see the Pioneer social media. I'm not with Pioneer. I don't have or actually Alpha Theta. I'm sure there's tons of DJs. Gotta make it lighter. I need it lighter. I need to put in my backpack and take it somewhere. Well, when you make stuff lighter, that's lighter materials. And unless you're going to use like space age, like titanium and stuff like that, they make aircraft out of, you're not going to be using heavy materials. But you want less weight, it's going to be plastic and stuff like that. If you want durability, it's going to be way heavier. And that's the thing you have to look at that's a big thing I look at. It's the weight of the item. And again, if someone's screaming and crying, "Hey, I want less weight. I want to be able to, put it in my backpack or put it into this, put it in that, and carry it around." That could be a big thing. And yeah, Kevin, you did poke a bear with Brentley because I know he's had some problems. One of the things for sending in, did you send it into Pioneer directly, or did you send it into a repair center?
I've sent all my gear to Deltronics in Chicago, Illinois. They have 2 locations, one on Halsted and one in Woodridge.
Yep,
The one in
on
Woodridge
75th.
is where you send all of your stuff to be received. If you want to drop it off, you can drop it off in person at Halsted or in Woodridge. Pick your store, but it's going to get shipped back to you from Woodridge. Yeah, I know.
What about an advertisement, huh?
Yeah.
I've been Deltronics. Actually, my RCFs that I did a dumb thing and they left my cart not paying attention in the snow and got some damage. That's who I took it to, Deltronics. They've done repairs for on my stuff before. They're good, but they take a long time. That's the downside. Deltronics is so busy.
Well, the other thing is with Pioneer, and this is why I'm saying have the parts ready because you know your stuff's going to break down. And the big thing for waiting for Pioneer repairs is it took, 7 months for me to get a crossfader? A crossfader. Legitimately, 7 months from the time I got my return authorization until I had the deck back in my hands was 7 months. And this is why I really don't want to deal with Deltronics anymore. Because the first time the guy's like, well, I just reconnected the wires, sent it back to me, and the crossfader broke in 2 seconds. I called him up. He's like, it just looked like it needed to be reconnected. I'm like, really? Did you test the crossfader after you were done? I moved it back and forth. So you didn't put it to any actual test of moving it.
Physical usage as a DJ would use.
And so I went off
He
on
doesn't have the
I kinda went
dexterity
off.
to.
Had to pay shipping again. And then when I'm like, they didn't want to refund me the shipping, I'm like, you specifically said it's my fault for not taking care of this. I will pay for your shipping to ship it back. And that's when I actually had to get Pioneer involved. Yeah, no, the last run of decks they made, and it could have been they were rushing them out for the NAMM show and to make sure they were ready, but it just wasn't a quality build. None of it has been.
Yep.
The Rev 7, I have one, and the quality on it's great, but because it's Serato native, there's a lot of record box functions I can't put on there and haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, I know that you love the Record Box light control to control your DMX, your lighting. You love how Record Box does that.
And
so
plus,
that's a big thing.
And if I've got to use CDJs, why do I want to hop from Serato to Record Box and back up? It's just easier on a lot of the clubs gigs. If I need to bring a stick, they're all the new Pioneer gear is Record Box native. You need to do it in Record Box in order for your cue points and all that to go across. So
I guess Brentley's going back to CDJs. I still have my CDJs. I still got my 900s. I still got my Nexus 900 Nexus.
As soon as I get down to Chicago, I have a present waiting for me that needs to come up here. It's going to change the whole look of what's behind me.
I'm moving with you? I'm coming up with you?
You got a trip coming up, buddy.
Can I call you Dad?
Mom bought me a little something last year, and it got shipped to her house, not mine, and I haven't been down there with a vehicle to take it all back up here.
Can I call you Dad then if I move in with you?
No.
Good one.
I'm sleeping on your couch.
No, this is the office, and right next to me is the door for wayward DJs who DJ in La Crosse who don't want to buy hotel rooms, or I say can crash at my house, whichever comes first. Yeah, no, it's the DJ B&B up here. That's what it is. So there's a bed up here, but
and
no one gets my couch.
Don't forget Blue Cam in La Crosse. They had one not too long ago for La Crosse, a great one.
Oh, there's some good new episodes up there. You got to check them out. I was having a blast watching the other day.
Yep, there you go.
And what we saw, was it 2 weeks ago when we were on New Year's Eve, I'm sure is going to wind up on Code Blue Cam. 5 in the morning, couple girls scrapping it out in downtown Lacrosse, weave getting tossed across the street. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, there you go. Code Blue Cam. Make sure you check it out on YouTube. Code Blue Cam. We love them, and we love them how they support the men and women of Lacrosse PD and show their plight on YouTube because they have a lot to deal with there with the craziness and the shenanigans going on there. The other one is Illinois Body Cams. That's another one I watch. It has a lot from Joliet, which Joliet's a pretty good size town, and they have it's kind of like the Lacrosse of the Chicagoland area. It's very, very similar, and it's not just because of the Blues Brothers. It's just because the way it is.
Yeah, I was about to say it reminds me of the
You
Blues
guys,
Brothers.
I don't think Joliet has the big meth problem that Lacrosse does, though.
I think so.
I mean, I know you got some. I've seen a few and I around there, completely surrounded in fencing, mind you.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say. I'm going to backtrack that statement there. I've seen a lot of farms that are very well fenced in.
Well, we're not going
lots of
to
dumb
tell the
things.
chemical composition of illegal items. So
I know. Yeah. Sorry. Yep. Again,
Yep,
like the
yep.
EV thing, I'm just going to put my foot in my mouth and back out.
Really quickly, I wanted to see a show of hands here. Who here has Pioneer controllers? Pioneer controllers, CDJs. So again, you look. Okay, so everyone here except for Chris. So I gotta go to Chris next. I know Dwayne. I know you're down there patiently. I'm trying to give you as much time as possible because I know you got little car problems. Has the he's waiting for a tow truck, by the way, folks. Has a tow truck arrived for you yet, Dwayne?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, he's muted. He's on mute.
Hey, you're muted.
Yeah, I know I was muted, but dang it, I can't stand doing Zoom on my phone. But nope, it haven't came yet. It just got like 3 texts saying that they delayed. So
You get a fourth, I think the tow truck ends up being free and they don't charge your insurance.
I'm just glad I got enough gas to keep me warm.
There you go.
Are
Yeah.
you're not getting snow there, are you right now?
At this very moment, we not. But at the time that I drove into the snowbank, it was snowing pretty good.
Okay.
How long you been waiting for now?
A tow truck, because
Yeah, for how?
I think I called about 6 something. So I've been here a while.
So
What
7
time's it now?
something. It's 8:44 now.
It's
So
9:44. So
yeah.
going
So
on like
yeah,
a good 3 hours.
it's
3
been a few
hours?
hours.
Holy shnikes, dude. It's time to call someone else. Find one privately.
I know a guy with an
Start going.
F350.
I
I
did
know
that
a
one
guy.
day.
Buddy
Yeah,
messing with an F350.
I got a 350. I could be there in 6 hours.
I know a guy.
You're halfway through it. It's 4x4 too. I can pull you. I have the chains. I have the pull straps. You know, can I lift you up? No, I can't do that. But I can pull you. I can pull you down the street, no problem, sideways.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
You just need to get them out of the ditch. Is there any damage to the car?
It's not that. I'm just because I thought about having my mom come with her vehicle and like push me, but then I was looking at the way, like when you go in the parking lot, they have like the concrete little things on the ground.
Yeah, you're on top of one.
It looked like I'm on that one or kind of like funky. I just don't want to risk bending anything underneath.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is most
Play that
vehicles
safe.
today are going back to the weight thing, plastic, lightweight, and you need to know where the tow points are at on a vehicle. And that's the one thing a professional tow truck driver, they're going to know where to do it, and they can pull from the basically from the frame of the vehicle or from other components that are very strong. They're not going to damage said vehicle. So that's the other thing. Plus, I'm not insured for that, and I would hate to drive and then hurt Mr. Dixon's vehicle. But in the meantime, when you're waiting for your tow truck, since I got you and you're talking, and I'm gonna get Chris next. But what do you think of the QSC hot topic of the minute?
Well, I saw thumbnails of a few videos, but I didn't have a chance to watch any of it yet. But after you just said it was almost $2,000, it's like I'm gonna just pass. I learned quickly during my younger years not to go and chase the new product right away, because it's like every time you go and spend money on it, then they come out with something that's supposed to be bigger and better. So I'm satisfied with what I got for right now. So yeah, that's not in my budget yet.
And that's one of the things that you have to look at. That's a thing you have to weigh on the cost of the unit, $2,000. That is up there,
But
and is it worth the price? Again, I don't know. I don't even know what the material of the case is made of. I don't know if it's a poly or if it's wood. Because like my DBs, which were for two of them were $5,000, $2,500 each. They're a wood cabinet. My J8s, they're a poly cabinet.
I think I saw that it was a mix of both.
Well,
I
usually the
think I
top
read
is
that
usually
too.
poly, but like
Yeah, so it definitely does have wood, because that was like one of the selling points, is like, oh, subwoofer wood, yay. But there was a little bit of plastic either somewhere or whatever. But yeah, so at least they got that going for them.
yeah, and
Getting
that
that.
adds weight. That goes back to the thing what Brentley said about you're adding weight.
I'm seeing was like
So
48 pounds, I think, for the sub is what it was. It's like 48
Okay,
pounds or
at
something.
48 pounds, I think what my Mackie SR18 maybe weighs 60. At that point, why do you need a column
it's
array?
well, and again, and this is the thing I can think of as a person who deals with line arrays all the time versus a two-way top and a sub.
Yeah.
And if anyone here wants to jump in and correct me on it, you can. But I feel it's convenient ease. Jeff also has both systems. He has the arrays and he has a two-way top and subs, and ease of connection, ease of setup. I'm sure he's going to say that the line array versus the two-way top and sub is easier, and that's the way I feel. And again, if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. I know Kevin will tell me I'm wrong, and Kevin's saying wood base there. The other thing also is Kevin said 145. I take it that is the how wide of a spread the QSC is, which is really wide. 145. That's really really wide of an angle. So the throw on it is going to be different. And 145, very wide. Bose again is 180. So I know Brian talked about taking line arrays and towing them out, which I don't do. I don't agree with him on that end, because I kind of use the little bit of highlight the sound as my own monitor, so I can hear what's going on the speaker. With that 120, I don't have much of it, but I have more of it than a normal two-way speaker. But 145, that's starting to get pretty aggressive. 180 degrees is basically, that's pretty far. 145 is pretty far. So 120, is pretty decent, but that's pretty far. And
I see the SPL of my Eon 612s are 126 dB. 126.
yeah, and again, that's a good amount of sound coming out of it. But these are 132. That's a lot more sound. And when you guys see wattage, this is a thing you have to think about when you read stuff. Wattage is consumption. It's like if I come up to you and go, how many horsepower is your vehicle? Oh, it gets 32 miles to the gallon. Okay, that's how much consumption it gets, not how much horsepower it gives. SPL is how much horsepower. So that's what you always want to look at. You want to know how much wattage a speaker is taking if you're doing equations like, hey, I have I have a 10 amp outlet. My speakers take, maximum, and again, that's the maximum power it's going to consume for like a very short time before it burns out is, 2,000 watts or 3,000 watts. What RMS is continuous. That's what it usually takes. That's usually, 6 or 7 or 800 watts, depending on the amplifier. But if you go, it's a 2,000 watt amplifier, again, it's consumption. And it's saying, hey, again, how many horsepower you have in your vehicle. And I know some people have bigger vehicles. Some people have smaller vehicles. I know one person has a monster truck, and that's Chris. right? You have your monster truck, right? You have your Bigfoot clone.
My Volkswagen Atlas. Yeah, I love that thing.
So, what do you think of the QSC? And some people are going to say it's a craze, or it's going to be something. I just don't understand why all of a sudden there's fanfare over it. I understand QSC is a good speaker, but the people losing their minds over it, I don't understand. But what do you think of it?
QSC definitely has a very quality, good product as they do with their column arrays and stuff. But the line array, and I haven't seen any videos. I'm with a lot of people here. I haven't watched any of them, so I don't even know what model this is that you guys are speaking about. So I don't want to do too much commenting, but I mean, judging from what people are going crazy about, from what you guys are saying, and from what a few reads that I've heard from before Christmas, that people are going nuts over these new series and new speakers. What do you plan on using them for? Do you have events lined up to utilize such power that these guys are going to be putting out? Right?
Yeah.
Do you really have the income to support that you need? Many of us are single ops, right? It's just us working. Guys with multi-ops. Are you doing these big events or these huge weddings? You're talking about 400 or 500 person weddings in such great big rooms, halls, and stuff. I don't think we are. You're just going to buy the latest and greatest because it's the latest and greatest and most expensive.
Well, Chris, it's kind of like the guy getting.
If these are the QSCs they had at the Atlantic City show, the LA 108s and the 112s.
Yeah, the line
I got
arrays.
to hear them. Those are the line arrays, right? These are the ones. I got to hear them firsthand. I will tell you, I am impressed. I will tell you, it looks very easy to set it up. The DSPs in them are incredible, and how that you can link them together to communicate, on a tablet is just mind-boggling. So QSC, I'll tell you, they are top-notch game. They are bringing, I'll have to say, professional theater to the mobile industry. And I think they're going to accomplish it with this. And that's all I'm going to put onto this one. I would be very impressed if I had gigs that could utilize this, and I would do it. Means I'm going to have to do staging and everything else if I'm going to get speakers like this. Just
I know
for a mobile gig, it's overkill.
And I know that
overkill.
I know that people say they need to have that because if you need it, you got it. If you don't have it, and you need it, you don't have it. You're disappointed, or you don't. You're not doing the right job, or it's kind of like
every single one of us should be specking out the room that we're going to be playing beforehand. If we need more sound, what are we going to do? We're not going to go out and buy a brand new $4,000 worth of speakers just to do a $2,000 job once. That makes no financial sense. I would just go out and rent for the one event. But
me and Mitch
Chris,
Taylor
don't mistake the column arrays for the line arrays. These are what we're referring to are the column arrays.
Okay.
Just a single pole coming out of a sub. The line arrays that I think you're referring to are the hang from the ceiling type of line arrays that are professional sound.
And Chris, you just put it best. How much? And I was having this conversation with Mitch Taylor today about because I had to tap his brain about something else, but we wound up on talking about gear and spending, and based on the gigs you have, what gear do you need? Do you need anything extravagant beyond what you have? If so, how many times will they get used? How many gigs will it take to pay off? So on and so forth. And how badly will it cut into your your bottom line by the end of the year?
Right.
And he really, because I had to tap it, and I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about. Do you need, just because they came out with gear, do you need to go and buy a new column array? And as great as QSC is, I'm not a huge fan of them personally, but I honestly now would have to say they're kind of late to the game.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Well,
all these people are using all the K series, these little 12-inch, the K series. I've never been impressed. I personally just don't like the sound. I'm a JBL fan.
Yeah.
I know people that've got RCF I've heard them. They're very impressive as well, very clean sounding. What series do you really want to go with? You know,
And
find your sound that you like, that what you think makes you sound good.
and I'm sure we're going to see the big wave of DJs who are dumping their the Evolve 50s and everything else now that these have come out because they're QSC fans. Which I'm hoping that I can find a. I don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind getting a pair of white Evolve 50s. I really wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
The Maui 5s are great for what they are, and yeah, I can use 4 of them and get the right fill and sound, but I would sacrifice that and buy swap that and get a pair of Evolve 50s. And I'm sure because the QSCs came out, we're going to see DJs jumping gear left and right this year. I'm really hoping to see what DJs start dumping after NAMM. Really curious this year. I'm wondering if it's going to be because, like you said, is Pioneer releasing new gear? I've heard rumors of a new deck. More than rumors, but it's going to be similar to the Rev, is what I've heard. So
well,
you
let's
have
talk
that.
about the other elephant that happened over our break and New Year's with the subscription streaming services.
Oh yeah, I talked about this.
That's a whole nother. That's a whole.
I know it is,
episode
but
right there.
I just want to touch upon it with all the gear coming out. How much are we going to have those streaming services integrated into this new gear now that this has happened?
A lot.
Oh yeah,
That's that. I want to stop it at that. Just think about it, buddy. Let's make it another show, either next week or the week after, for that discussion. Let's see what rolls out.
If you want some good content for that show, go look at my Facebook post from today.
yeah, fine.
Here's the best of it. I am so freaking happy all of these grumpy old DJs have chimed in and I will, if you're able to, monetize every one of your social media accounts that you can. Because when I had a post similarly to this blow up in this same fashion, I took home a check for about $2,500.
Wow.
My impressions right now on this post are at over 160,000 impressions.
Good
So
for
I
you,
know
brother.
right there,
Wow.
I'm going to see at least $1,000 on this post,
All right.
if not more. The one I saw $2,500 for was my Mariah Carey last year, saying goodbye and going back into the ocean. Something completely not even DJ related merited me $2,500 just for me going click. And all the haters that were, and I'm sure it was the people just trash talking on the post that really helped grow the post, which I'm thankful for. It's great.
Haters grow.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it makes your wallet thicker.
I will give my old man yelling at the sky thing. Those who stream and problems happen, this is why you should have your own music and own your own music in your hard drive.
Definitely. Because I remember DJing my family's. New Year's Eve party, and I looked up a song for a request, and the service completely shut down when I was DJing. So I went back to my thumb drive.
But you at least had original music somewhere,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Definitely.
and because
were
I
prepared.
mix,
That's
I
a
download
professional.
everything. I mean, I know you can with Tidal and other things, mark Q points and all that, but here, you can't. And I discovered with Tidal, you can't transfer Q points from one computer to another. There's a lot of limitations. So if I'm using Tidal, I have to download it, recache it, and do it all over. I'm going to keep.
I'm
my
sure
hard
there's a
files
meta
and all
file
of that.
somewhere in your computer that you could transfer over to another, but that is a lot of back end legwork. Just like all your crate information from Serato, your
Exactly.
And
Virtual
on the next
DJ.
episode of DJ Roundtable, it's gonna be Apple versus PC. No.
Oh, don't get me
Hunter's
started.
like, I'm ready for
Where
it.
is what's his name?
Don't get me started.
What's a PC?
I love my Mac.
So-
I love my Mac.
What's a PC?
Now, Buddy asked me another question earlier. Now, I'm using Denon controllers. I've
See,
got my
Denon?
primary.
Yeah.
I
Me too.
I had Denon. I had Denon when Denon was Denon, so it's not in music.
Yep.
In music stuff's different. Now, here's the one other caveat you have as well. JBL, their parent company, was sold to Samsung, so Samsung owned Harman Kardon.
Yep.
They're doing a lot of things. QSC got sold earlier, late last year, to another company. So they have a new parent company. So that's, again, them come out with an array. I'm sure they've been working on it for a while, but I'm sure the parent company's like, we need to get this out there ASAP. And because Pioneer, they're a different company, and they've been a different company for quite a while. Pioneer itself split in many different factions, and the company who owns Pioneer DJ, they are a separate company from Pioneer, and they use the Pioneer DJ name, and that's why they had to go to Alpha Theta, because that licensing is ending. They didn't want to pay Pioneer, the parent, the big company Pioneer, a bunch of money. So that's why you don't see Pioneer as much as you used to. But here is the caveat in all that. All these companies who are coming to NAMM, they have little tricks and stuff in your pockets. It's going to be very interesting to see who releases what, because it's been quiet for the past couple of years because of 2020. And I don't want to mention the name and stuff like that of what it was, so I don't get demonetized. Well, I'm not monetized, but so I don't get blocked here on tubes. But 2020 did do a lot of stuff. And because of that, a lot of stuff was delayed. And that could be a reason why Brentley's, Flex 10, that could be a reason why.
It's still truly going on, though. They're making the equipment, but they're not making the back end to repair the stuff. I pay attention to the Facebook forums. I do, because I've been looking for a way to map stems into a Rev 7 for Record Box. So I'm looking every day to see if somebody's done it, or I've got something that could possibly guide me to it. But one of the people were commenting today. Yeah, I just got the Groove 6, and it doesn't work anymore. I've had it for a week. I need to send it back. It's Pioneer is just not making the quality of gear like they did when they made, like, the last piece that didn't have any issues with it, that didn't have forums or Facebook groups, was the DDJ 1000. Ever since that came out, and they started putting out the new the Flex, 2, 4, 6, and all this stuff, they're just not putting the quality into the craftsmanship like they did even 10 years ago. And it's showing when their stuff is breaking down time and time again. And maybe they're shifting their focus. Maybe they want speakers. I don't know.
Hopefully some ears are listening, the power at the interwebs, and
what about
sharing
the parent manufacturer, the one who's supplying them with I don't want to say the word components, but the raw materials to manufacture what they need. Maybe they had to switch to someone else, to the factory of putting it together, versus them doing the end product line testing and then make sure it's all good and it meets a certain point, but it hasn't gone through the true rigors of actual demoing.
I mean, I can see that. And when I was talking to the Pioneer rep at, I want to say, MEX last year, because I was telling him about my wonderful Rev 5 and Flex 10 incidents, and he's like, yeah, we know. And that's all we know. Cool, it's great, But then he said when it comes to new equipment and quality of build and all that, it's no longer handled by anybody in the States. It's all done in Japan. No. They're choosing what they want us to have.
Right.
So them pulling like the quality build of the Rev 7 or the RZ and anything like that is all from Japan's main offices, which somebody really needs to kick them in the behind or something and show them what they're doing.
Well, this is on social media, so hopefully people share this with a few people, and hopefully a few ears listen, not just for the QSC stuff, but also for Pioneer, because Alpha Theta, Pioneer, whatever they want to be called, they make some really great stuff. I love my XZ. I still have an SX2. I still have 2 CDJ 900 and 900 Nexus mixer. I still have all that stuff. I had a lot of stuff from Pioneer, and I still love their products. I also have some older gear from Denon, which works great. But the thing is that, if the quality is suffering, that we don't want. Oh, man, a whole entire hour went by.
Good.
And, we're in overtime here. So
what a quick start off, huh? For the new buddy.
Oh yeah, Woo! This is gonna be crazy here. Now, and Dwayne still doesn't have a tow truck yet. Unfortunately, he's still waiting. We're gonna make sure he gets taken care of for the next episode. He'll be hopefully at home, not trying to sneak out to.
He'll be on the tow truck.
He'll have a tow truck by then. I'm
surfing that tow truck, baby.
I'm hoping if he tunes in next week, he's back in his vehicle still. I'm like, Dwayne, did you go home? No, I'm still here. Please send help. Oh man. And of course, I gotta thank the man with the mustache tonight, all the way from Texas. Next week you gotta turn off the background blur and wear the hat with that stash.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you.
You
I'll
got
do it.
and you gotta have 6-shooters on too. You gotta have the 6-shooters and the boots.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got plenty of those. I got plenty of boots.
Yeah.
I got those.
And
Next
then
week, I'll
the
be
week
in
after that,
Tempe,
you gotta do it off the
Arizona,
back of a
so-
horse.
I don't have that. I'm a little too city for that. But
Next week, guys, I'll be in Tempe, Arizona on Tuesday. So I'll have to tune in maybe an hour earlier and see what goes on. I'll be at a convention, so
Well,
I'll be here.
maybe you sneak away and do the show from the convention
absolutely.
floor
No, absolutely love to. If they
on your
finish
phone.
their,
Yeah.
our seminars,
And,
I got a full
you
computer.
can
I
talk to
bring a
people
webcam.
about the show. There you go. See, hey,
Absolutely.
look, I'm on
I'll
a show
even
right
bring
here
them on
live.
from what I do. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys.
connect later.
Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Hopefully you enjoy yourselves. And to take it out this time around, I'm gonna turn it over to the man with the mustache this time for him to take it out of the show and take us home tonight. So, sir, will you please do me a favor and say goodnight to everyone?
good night, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. See y'all guys. See you guys.
Peace.
Good night, everyone.